Unmute me.
Hi, my name is Sean Taylor. That's Chris Ford, who I released from mute jail about a second too fast.
That timed it.
That was. I've
I was
never,
looking at your cursor to see exactly when you
I'm
unmuted
never
me.
sharing my screen with you again. Ruining everything. Welcome to Avatar: The Last Podcasters, the show where we start off every episode with Chris belching really loudly or yelling into the microphone. Or moving the microphone. Sometimes we'll still be like adjusting our equipment. Like for some reason, I'll start record, and then at that exact moment, we'll both decide to like move our microphones around and stuff, and it sounds fantastic. So, listen, we know how to start off an episode of a podcast. Now that we've been doing this for like 90 episodes, we've got it down. Anyway, this is welcome. Today we're talking about Avatar. No, we're not. We're talking about The Legend of Korra, Book 2, Spirits, Chapter 10, A New Spiritual Age. But before we get to that, I think Chris has one or two things. You know what? No, hold on. First, Chris, how you doing? I forget to ask because back-to-back
Oh,
recordings and
yeah,
I
I'm doing the same I was doing before, but better, I
tune into
guess.
last week's episode to find out how Chris is doing. Spoiler alert, he's fine.
No, doing fine.
Excellent.
But today, I would like to read a very short review because we don't get those that often on Apple. I guess you can read on Facebook also, but for some reason, so you probably don't see me now because I'm going off on my internet
You're right. We
search
just look
thingy.
like a very judgy picture of Chris. Like you're looking at us like, why are you not
Oh,
paying
that's
attention to
my.
this podcast? Yeah. You look like we're in trouble in your picture.
So, very nice person just left a rating, and I'm going to read it once I find it. Okay, here it is. So it's from, I don't, this isn't really a name. It's more of a Deffrwre.
Why
Uh,
would you not pronounce that name, Chris? That's very rude of you. Go on, take a swing.
Deffery. Deffery. Uh,
Love it.
so he said, Bad Bab is absolutely wrong. If you don't know, Bad Bab was the person who left the very one-star review on our
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
who, who said we were terrible once we did the ships episode with
Yeah.
Jamie. How we were terrible host.
I legit
Um,
lost sleep over that because Jamie is my favorite, and I was like, oh god, I wonder if she feels that same way. I straight up lost sleep. Jamie, for the record, I'm pretty confident.
but this new person said amazing explanation point. Anyway, Bad is just being annoying and doesn't realize that it's a joke.
It touches my heart. I need that kind of confidence.
It was a 5-star review, so thank you for the review.
We appreciate all reviews and any critiques or help and things you always want to say about. We're always happy for
So
them. It is nice to hear someone validate your work. That is very
that is true.
exciting.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We have 14 total reviews, and
Are we at like? Let me
every
guess. Let
single
me
one of
let
them.
me guess. Let me guess what our average is though. We're at 14 total.
Yes.
Are we at a 3.7?
Come on, think higher, Sean.
Are we
Think
good?
higher.
Okay. How about 4.2?
4.1.
Okay. So like that means there's got to be like a 2, 3, 4 mixed in there every now and then. That's very
No,
reasonable, right?
it's all fives except for that one star.
Does that average out to 4.1? Just that
I
one.
wouldn't. I mean, I can do the math real
There's
quick.
got to be some. There's
Let's
got to be
see.
some other like 3s and 4s mixed in there for
It
that to
says
average out.
14. According on this, there's only yeah. Let's see. So if there's 13 times 5 is 65
Yeah.
plus 66 divided by 14. Where's my 66 divided by
Oh, you're
14?
right. It's 4.1. How about that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you for all the nice reviews. For the record, we are always open to constructive. Just leave your honest reviews,
Yes.
and we're always happy for that. But obviously, the good ones are good. Chris, we've never disclaimed this before, and people who listen to us with any regularity at all probably realize this. We're not like technical audio producer level people, and I'm barely a functioning people at all. So Chris, way to hold this show together, buddy. We all appreciate it. I feel like that needs to be said out loud. Thank you,
Oh
Chris.
well, thank you, Sean,
I
for
just
because I don't handle the audio
I
stuff.
almost
I don't.
lit. First of all, I almost literally only am here to just click buttons, and second of all, I screw it up. Let's say half the time we can spot at least
No.
one. People don't even see the ones where I pick up the wrong PowerPoint, like I just did 5 minutes. So people don't even see all the time.
Shout out to who will tell us, be like, hey, this episode for some reason Christian Mike just went out.
He
And then,
illustrated that one episode where so the
oh no,
software,
your mic went out, Sean.
the
I'm just talking to
software,
myself.
the software just stopped working on my side. The mic was working because you could hear me. The software stopped picking up the mic for no apparent reason. And we gotta be honest, we don't edit these episodes. We publish them and we put them up. And so yeah, Hoob, thanks for having our back. We appreciate it. When you're like, hey, yeah, Chris just like talking to us. But the thing is, if you're talking to yourself, it's way better than if your mic leaves and I'm just over here talking to myself. Way better alternative for you to talk to yourself. Much more natural sounding.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, there was also
thanks for
okay.
the.
Little bit of the news. Not that it's kind of late now, but the the Avatar YouTube channel, which there's this one person in my comments in my Korra versus Aang video who's like, "This channel proves it's official, it's canon." Like one thing, the channel is garbage to a certain extent because like it's so fan biased, even though it's not ran by fans. It's ran by
It's a
some
marketing
person.
tool. It's literally
Exactly.
a marketing tool, and that's fine. That's what it's
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
be.
I like it that it keeps Avatar alive. Sometimes I don't like it because I'm just like as a YouTuber who spends a lot of time doing Avatar videos, like they do them so easily because they have the backing of like there's some intern whose only job is to do these types of videos for them and stuff.
They
And like
don't
they have
have
the
to
backing of a
use
whole.
less than 10-second bursts and record them themselves and remove audio and
Yeah. And then one thing I hate the most about them is that they don't do like real research. Like they'll be like, let's rank all the benders from best to worst. And it'll be like Amon ranked 11. And I'm like, Amon is like the strongest person that's not an avatar. And then it'll be like Korra versus Toph. Who will win? Toph wins. I'm like, Korra is the avatar. She's the avatar. She bends all four elements. She has Ra with a light spirit. Nothing can, unless you're an avatar, nothing can dwarf your power. It's unlimited. It's built into the. Like,
it's like the top 10 the most popular one, and I'm not bashing because I watch these constantly. I'd be ashamed to know how many hours I spent watching these, but it's more like a Watch Mojo channel thing
yeah,
where it's
but to me, it's under the guise of officialness. Like
because
some
it
people
has
look
the
at it
avatar
like,
name.
yeah, some people look at it like, oh well, this proves that Korra couldn't be Aang. Like I'm fine with someone being like, oh, here's why Aang would be Korra. And I'm like, cool, it's great conversation stuff. Like I like having that conversation. But when it comes to be like, oh, this channel says so, I'm like, this channel has no affiliation with Mike and Brian. It has no anything to do with them. But so my point being is that they and this person and I was like, they're not creating new shows stuff. Then this person so they announced like brand new series coming out on Earth Day. And I was like, this is not like an actual series. I thought this to myself, but the person wrote underneath one of my comments like, see, look, they are officially doing a brand new series and everything. And I didn't even comment because I'm like, I'm done with this conversation because this person kept on going back and forth about how it's I don't know the end all be all I guess, and I knew that this wasn't going to be an actual series because one thing Nickelodeon wouldn't waste a brand new series on YouTube. They would put it on Paramount Plus. It's a fan led like discussion. You remember when I like applied to be on their fan?
Yeah.
There's something that I had to actually have to put an audition tape for. It's that like it's just fans discussing Avatar. Um, which people have been doing we've been doing this podcast for years now. People have been talking
I'm barely a
Avatar.
functioning human, and we've been doing this podcast since 2019,
Yeah,
maybe
but that
2018.
I guess that's my little bit of news. Don't be fooled by a brand new Avatar series coming out. It's not a new series. It's just a fan glorified fan YouTube channel.
I have a slightly related minor bit of news. Don't let me get hung up on it too much because I could rattle on all day. But the channel like last week or 2 weeks ago now maybe I like kind of re-signed a contract for that channel I make videos for, and
Mhm.
over the past year I probably made 6 total, and I made like 3 in the past 3 weeks, and I was like really getting into a rhythm, starting to get things more efficient. Was really proud of my work, and then all of a sudden the people that fund that channel just are no longer funding that channel, and so I'm not gonna make videos for them anymore. I guess it's really sad, and I I don't like I said, I don't want to dwell on it too long because I'm not involved in the business side at all. What it
Yeah.
amounts to is that like I just wanted to make videos and they would give me a few bucks, and I don't care about the money part at all. But the thing that I do miss already, like my motivation to make videos, is already like just like nosedive. Like, well, I don't have to do it for anybody. It's like I was
Yeah.
enjoying it and it was in a rhythm. I had a very good process going by the end of the last one. But as soon as I heard that, there wasn't really remorse so much for like money or anything like that. It was just like, now I don't know why I would have to make a video. So hey, if anybody if anybody knows how to motivate yourself to stay on a schedule with making videos because you know you enjoy them, you literally just need the kick in the pants. Y'all hit me up with your motivating tools because I could use them. Also, I did move my most recent ones, for which I had not been compensated, over to my channel. So if anybody wants to go watch some short video game reviews that are less reviews and more how they make Sean feel, those are on my channel. I'd
Yeah,
appreciate it.
that's good too.
That's my that's my sad breakup story that I'm recovering. I'm recuperating from my breakup. From I'm gonna call it a
Nice.
sugar mama, right? I made videos, they pay me money as my sugar mama breakup.
Hmm.
That's
But
all I got.
yeah, I guess let's get into the episode.
Let's go to better things, more exciting things. And this
All
one
right.
is called A New Spiritual Age, Book Two,
Which I
Spirits,
feel
Chapter
like,
2.
so I said before previous episode, I feel like the for some reason I'm not liking the episode titles. I feel like this title should go in probably book 3, chapter 1. Yeah. Or maybe the end of this. No, because I like A Light in the Dark. I like that title, but I don't like the title for this
It
for some reason.
feels like a finale title or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Come on, Avatar creators. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even
Okay.
notice titles until you point them out, and then I turn into like John Mulaney, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, so it starts off with Janora leading Korra into the spirit world, which I think is beautifully animated. Um, even when they just arrive there, it's really cool. And then they get lost from each other. They go down these like tunnels. They get kind of eaten by like it makes the spirit world just seem so infinite, so mysterious that they end up all these different places. Um, and also, there's a Korra gets harassed by some meerkat type of spirits, and then she tries to bend at them. And one is like, she tried to bend at us, and they attack her. And Janora shouldn't run away. Like, come on, you guys
I
are
don't
in
know.
this
She just
place.
wandered off like a. Uh, it kind of frustrated me a little bit,
like
but
like Korra should calm down, but Janora, you shouldn't have ran away in the first place. Like
why?
this ain't the time or place. You guys are on a mission.
You
You over
literally
here trying
just
to
told your dad, you're like, I'll be fine, and then as soon as you get in there, you're like, I'm gonna go over here.
yeah. um, so they get split up from each other, and eventually Janora finds her way to the spirit library, which was a great callback. Watching Tongass there, he who knows 10,000 things, continue to be voiced by the guy from Princess Diaries. I should rewatch that movie. I love that movie. Which I'm sure I said the same exact thing when we reviewed the library.
Probably, because I remember distinctly you hating that golden, beautiful episode. Not hating, hating's too strong a word. I
That's
love it.
what,
I
yeah,
love it.
I need
I
to
love it.
read.
You're not a fan. That's fine.
Yeah, it's funny. Hoop just commented on that because he's been like back watching some of
Yeah.
our episodes. Like I often forget what I said at that point in time. But
Uh,
yeah, the library.
I do love this part
Right.
though
I did like it.
because Janora asks him if he knows. Like he's like, you got to contribute one new thing, and she's like, you know what a radio is? He's like, yeah, I know what a radio is. You know how it works?
Of course, I know what
Of
radio
course.
is.
There's a
There's
little
a
man
there's a
inside of a
little man
box.
inside of a box who plays instruments and sing. Well, actually, our ears pick up when we speak. We send sound waves, and our ears pick them up, and then sounds electromagnetic energy and whatever. And he's like, clearly, I've been fed some wrong information on tiny man in boxes.
And he looks
in
back at
the,
the
in
dog,
the yeah, at the knowledge wolf or whatever
and
knowledge
it
fox.
just
It's
slinks
like,
away real sad.
like
Listen,
like where
man,
did it like it must look like in my head they have like some quota for bringing back knowledge and he's like, oh, I got nothing, man, I got nothing, what I'm gonna do. And
it's
then he's like,
homework.
wait,
It's like you got to learn me 10 new things by the end of the
yeah.
day. Shh, I only came up with 9. Quick, what's that thing we listen to Probe Ending on radio? How does it work? I've got an idea.
Great, he'll fall for it. Like
That was
no one's ever coming down here to
nobody's gonna,
dispute this.
yeah,
He's
nobody's
not
gonna
going up
question.
there.
So I laughed. I laughed real hard at the. I mean, at the callback in general, like it's a fun situation to be in, and then that just
Yeah,
watching the wolf slink away, all sad. And I laughed
yeah.
for a solid minute. I think.
And Janora was saying like right when she got in, she's like, "Oh, I could spend forever just reading in here." And he's like, "The last person who said that died," and then it shows the professor from 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 Avatar, and he's still reading a book.
He
Like,
deteriorated really fast, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to ask my
uh,
head. I'm gonna ask my wife
I'm pretty
about
sure
body
that yes.
deterioration rates and how they
If you guys don't
vary.
know, Sean's wife is a funeral. I don't know what you call
Director,
that.
yeah, funeral
Director.
director.
Okay.
Her answer is gonna be that the deterioration times vary in the spirit world versus
I
the
mean,
real ones because she's a realist.
it would have been 80 years. I think it would have. I think it's very valid. It will get down to the
All
bone.
down to the bone by then. Okay,
Yeah, I
I
mean, you're
mean,
not in a coffin. Like when you're in a coffin, from what I read, is that your body is preserved fairly much better than
but he just out in
when
the
it's
open. Those wolves could be gnawing on him like a treat.
yeah, yeah. He's down in the open, oxidizing and everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's
That's kind of gross, but that's fair. It was a really nice
yeah,
callback to see the professor in there.
yeah.
Way to hang tight, buddy.
He was true to his word.
Yeah,
Yeah. So then, Janora's like, "Hey, I'm the granddaughter of of the Avatar, and I'm traveling with the Avatar." And immediately he's like, "Oh, you're with the Avatar. Well then, welcome." Like he was so welcoming that you knew he wasn't, you know, he wasn't gonna help.
yeah.
More than you knew he wasn't gonna help anyway, because last time we saw him, he was trying to kill everybody.
He was doing that scary owl long neck thing that they do, that
Yes.
demon stretch crap.
Yeah, really creepy.
Yeah,
I'm kind of sad I didn't see it in this episode.
I'm
But
not. It's troubling. It's troubling.
I gotta
Uh,
move a little bit. My phone is dying. Need to charge it. Which
so at
whenever I charge
least,
my phone, it's gonna have like this weird back noise. You'll hear it once I plug it in, I think.
yeah, it's like a buzz that occurs when you talk, but
Yeah.
it only occurs when you talk because your phone's like audio silencing software does a nice job of limiting all noise when you're not speaking, and then when you're talking, you talk over it. So I don't know. I've at least learned to not hear it at all. Honestly,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
I'm sure more discerning ears than mine, but so she does go in there. As much fun as we make of her for just leaving, she goes in there to learn about the location of the spirit portal. Um, and eventually she does give in and ask one of the knowledge wolves for help finding the spirit portal.
Yeah. So it was a uh, nice little exposition, a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like an exposition dump. It was done fairly well because we as a viewer is in the eyes of Janora and she's reading it, and so it feels very natural to get this exposition. It's just a quick like history lesson on the spirit portals and stuff. All right, so Janora's there. Korra gets separated from Janora, and she's like lost in this woods. She turns into little baby Korra, which is like so cute.
I know. I don't. I get it allegorically. I don't get why it has to happen fictionally, in the show. Like, I get what they're going for in terms of the figurative lesson, but I don't know.
Well,
It's a
the thing
weird thing to
about
me.
the thing about the spirit world and your spirit is that the form you take, I feel like, is a reflection of yourself, right? So when avatars, it's a reflection of yourself. Or yeah, it's a reflection of yourself. Because when we see Avatar Roku, he's really old and looks old himself. So that's how he sees himself. You see Avatar Kyoshi, she lived to be 230, but when we see her in a spirit form, she looks like she's 30 something years old. And so Korra, being in the spirit world, can easily uh, subconsciously warp her own image, and so she looks, she looks how she feels right now, powerless.
I know, but I don't
Um,
think that she is the only being in that state that this entire group is in that would be impacted to that degree. Of over the next few episodes when we see multiple visits into the spirit world,
well,
and
well,
she's the only one that's
but
impacted in
she's
that way.
she's spiritually in the spirit world. Everyone else that goes in there, like that's their physical bodies in the spirit world, which can't be altered like that.
Okay, no, that makes more sense. I appreciate the explanation. So I mean, it's literally just the difference in this case of her meditating to achieve the spirit world
Yeah,
spiritually and not literally being led there through a portal.
yeah.
Okay, well, okay, I'll bite. I mean, it's still weird that she's got to turn into a baby, but whatever. It's fun to see her
But I love it. It's fun,
little
little
baby
baby
core.
Cora.
She's very well
But she
designed,
says
cute little
like, but she
character.
says like, I can make the sun come out, or I can make the sun shine. Like it's so adorable. Like
Does
seeing a
that
little girl
warm your little dad heart?
warms my little dad heart.
Uh, it's funny that like it's the opposite of literally earlier that day. I was trying to decide what next thing I wanted to watch because we've talked before. I need something kind of lighthearted that I can just have on in the background. I don't really have to pay attention to. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try One Piece. Everybody talks about One Piece, and it seems
Why
like
would
my
you
kind of
try
show.
One Piece?
Uh,
Even if you like it, you gotta spend forever watching it. This sounds terrible.
but it sounds like my cup of tea and the different islands and things be representing different worlds. I don't know. It sounded like my cup of tea.
It's almost 1,000 episodes.
Whatever. Naruto's worse, right? Uh,
No.
I don't watch Naruto. I don't know. But the point is that it's the opposite effect of like I was actually super duper enjoying One Piece, except for the man. I already forget the name character's name. I got like 3 episodes in. I hate his voice so
Fluffy?
much.
Luffy?
Luffy.
Luffy? Yeah.
His voice is so hard to listen to. I hate it. And then when they do the episode, I got to the episode where they're looking at like young him, so like 4 or 5 episodes in, and it's even worse. And it's the opposite of that, where it's very adorable and it's very cute. But I still I don't know. I kind of question why, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Minor nitpicks, and she's pretty cute.
Yeah, the cord knocks down this dragon baby bird, and she picks it up. It's all very adorable. You got a small little baby dragon bird. They're lost in the woods. It's cute. And then she's lost, and then this is when I flipped out. Like when I first saw it, it's like legitimately. I remember watching this in my basement in my old house on the computer. I don't know. Was my daughter born? She must have been born then. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Not relevant. But I remember
Yes, I
watching
bet she
it.
was.
Yeah, she was born in 2012. Watching it on my computer, and she's lost in the woods. You see this figure, shadowy figure, come up, and she's like, "Iroh," and it's like, "It's nice to see you again, Cora," or something like that. And I just jump up, I'm like, "It's mother freaking Iroh!" Like I, like I literally jumped up and like ran around the room.
Chris, your headphone cords, I think, are scraping on your microphone. If you don't mind trying to turn it or separate it, or maybe tuck the cord into the clip or something like that. Sorry, it was popping real bad.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. But it emphasized your excitement about seeing Iroh. I mean, I wasn't that excited, but obviously I was happy to see. I mean, literally my favorite character in the series, to at least to a certain degree. So yeah, I was very stoked to see him.
Yeah, and Iroh takes her to a wedding. Um, so this whole spirit, I think this is a great episode for the spirits. Like we've had conversations before on like which show had a better depiction of spirits, and I forget where I landed on that
I
in
do
that
too.
specific
Yeah, I totally
episode.
forget.
But
I'm sure it
but
was
I
a
feel like
great talk.
but even still, I go back and forth. I think I like the spirits, and the answer is wrong, honestly. But I really like just how imaginative the spirits are in this. Like they could be anything and everything. Like
It's
they could
like
be
a
shadowy. They could just be shadowy, faceless figures,
it's like a Tim
which we
Burton
see.
film over here in the spirit world.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I'm just loving. I just love how like I love when characters just kind of sit and they talk. I think that's sometimes when you get the best character work done. And I feel like Iroh delivers like some great wisdom here. Um, he in his first great bit of wisdom, he's telling Korra like, we'll find your friend. She's like, we're not gonna find, but she gets angry and she starts turning um, everything dark because she's the Avatar and her influence is very strong. She starts turning spirits dark, and I love how Iroh's reaction is like, holy crap! Like he looks shook, like I didn't know that she was this powerful kind of deal. But he calms her down, and then she says the adorable thing like I said before. That she's like, I can make the sun shine. Like this is so cute,
Her
Sean.
little outie belly button sticking out. I'm not saying it's not cute. It's just weird. It can be both. It can be both.
Uh, and then Iroh says to her like, if you look for the light, like you would often find it, but if you look for the dark, that will be all you see. Which is like so true in life. Like if you just look for the bad and stuff, that's you're more likely to that be all you find. Like you won't appreciate the lightness. Like for all you being if you're just pessimistic and everything and being dark and being negative,
I don't
that's
remember the
what
first half of the saying, but the second half is, but if you look for darkness, it's all you'll ever find.
yeah.
But I don't remember the first half and how
The
he
first
was
half
saying.
is if you look for the light, you'll often find it. Which is true. If you look for the light, sometimes you might not find it, right?
Most
Like
of the time.
most of the time you often find it. But if you only look for the dark, you will only see the dark. So it's some great Iroh advice. And
Play the
then
odds, says Iroh.
yeah,
Look for the light.
and
Play the odds.
then and then Korra's like, I want Jinora here, right? She tries to imagine her there, and then she doesn't come. Which is the whole goes back to like if you look for the light, you'll often find it, but sometimes you don't. She didn't find it that time, but it was still good to stay positive. And then Iroh says to her like, maybe you can help this dragon egg like find where its home is at, like you know, which is I'm about to say one of my best pieces of advice I've ever heard from that I think Avatar's ever dished out. It's like oftentimes to solve your own problem, you should help others, which I think is just it's a great way to live by. I love that advice so much.
I would say that, not to get too deep or too mushy here, but if you ever have anxious, anxiety, depression, or depressive episodes, or things like that, I feel like a common piece of advice that seems to be fairly effective, taking your mind off of that by doing something sort of helpful or beneficial, some kind of selfless act. And I know that something I don't suffer from those diseases or those disease. That's a bad word. What am I looking for? I don't suffer from those ailments. I don't want to belittle it for those who do, but I do occasionally have some anxieties in life, and that's one of my easiest, most effective solves. Personally, is to try to find. It can be a small, selfless thing, but kind of remove yourself from the equation for a little bit, and it tends to. I don't know. I tend to find it very effective personally. So, not to get
Yeah.
too mushy, but 100% agree that, like I said, it's kind of a mental removal of yourself from your own situation for a few minutes, and it kind of reshapes perspective a little.
Yeah. Oh, and Iroh says this thing that for the first time, I realized it's actually foreshadowing. He says to Korra, like, you have a light and peace in you, and if you bring it out, you can, change the world. And at first, you might be thinking about he's talking about Rava, um, but if you look at how the finale ends, it's that light and energy that Korra brings out of herself that she uses to win the day. It wasn't like Rava. It was that self that 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 self energy, that self worth. But I feel like I have more to say about their interactions here. I can't think of it, but it was great interaction. Great to see Iroh again. He was just, even though it was voiced by uh, James Baldwin, who I love as Iroh. I think he does a great job. Uh, Mako was legendary as well. I think James Baldwin does a really good job of filling in those shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to say it. Like, he's no Iroh. That, I don't know. It's different, but he does a really admirable job filling a role that is under much scrutiny. Not sure what more you could ask for
Yeah.
an Iroh replacement.
Sadly, all the time, like I follow him on Twitter, a lot of times it's like fans always come to me and be like, "You're no Mako," and he'll say like, "I know I'm no Mako. Like I
Very
love Mako. Like
literally, yeah. I don't.
like
How do you respond
like
to that?
Mako was Mako was great." The thing is, James Baldwin often spent much of his career being like the understudy to Mako, and so I mean they had a personal relationship, from what I understand.
That just makes it worse. Like, so how do you respond to that? Like, sorry, I'll try harder next time. I don't need.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Is it this episode that Unalaq takes his kids and tries to? I believe it is. Tries to open up the spirit portal
Yeah, they're trying to water bend it
physically.
open, which
Yeah.
seems
Not.
like a great plan, right? Like, all right, kids, just pour a bunch of water in there. That's another one of
I'm
those
not
things
sure.
that just annoyed me. It's like there was no foundation for it. Like, you're just, if he's a spirit bender, and I could maybe see them trying to work that, but they were just straight up dumping water into that thing. What is that gonna
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Maybe they just need to fill
Turn
some time
do
or
the
get or position him in the spirit world to talk to Vatu.
I
But it was just give me more Iroh time.
I
I don't
don't
care what it is
yeah I don't
instead
and
of that part.
I don't know what you do there, or
Oh,
if
I
it.
guess
I don't think that part is really necessary, other than the Escadesna
yeah. I guess
bit.
narrative speaking, it's supposed to show his dis disconnection from Eska and Desna. Like he didn't care that Desna was being really hurt from trying to
Yeah,
attack the spirit portal.
I just
But
they should have cut it
uh,
off, and it should have been spirit bending instead of water bending. And then I don't know how Escadesna could help, or I don't know. It's just where it's like, all right, kids, water bend at this portal, and I just
yeah,
he's a really well educated, like well versed being in this subject.
I think he's trying. Right? He thinks that Korra's dead, but he honestly thinks that, and so I think he's just trying anything, and so I don't blame him for trying. I just as a viewer didn't need to see it.
Yeah, I didn't either, but it's a minor nitpick.
Yeah, yeah, it's fair,
I'm
fair
making
enough.
a spirit portal out of an anthill.
Let's see here. Oh, Janora
It just
got trapped.
essentially, I probably, it looks like I jumped too much there. We do get to witness Korra return the
Oh yeah,
dragon
yeah.
bird egg. We get to
Yes, the
witness that
dragon
whole
bird.
saga. I
Yeah,
probably
she returns the
too big
dragon
of a gap
bird to the
there.
nest, and then I love this shot. She returns the dragon bird to the nest, and then the three other dragon birds all form into one huge dragon bird. Which is, again, I love how the spirits work in this universe. Like two spirits were getting married, and Korra's like, "How could you guys get married? Like you're so," and then the spirits like, "Opposite, I know,"
Which is
but
funny
like,
because they are
yeah, they
literally,
are.
they're connected. They're Siamese frog spirits.
Siamese
I don't know what the
spirits getting
proper.
married
There's
to each
probably
other.
a medical term that's less offensive than that, but um,
Conjoined.
I conjoined. That's actually it. Yeah, thank you. They're conjoined
Yeah.
spirit things. I like on the way up the mountain when I don't remember what else she runs into, but she like pops it like it's a scary spirit, and she like pops it, and she's like, "But you can be my friend," and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cute."
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is though. Some scary spirit.
Yeah, so she returns to, oh, and I like the shot, right? The dragon bird comes out, and then like the camera like rotates around Korra. It's just a really cool shot. I don't know, I love that shot a lot. Really glad that Studio Mirror started to take over duties on this. I don't know what Studio
I feel
Pierrot
as
would have
though
done.
a studio parrot. I don't know. I feel a weight's been lifted off your heart, Chris.
Yeah, no more Studio Pierrot. It's I don't know, it's such a an eyesore. And the thing is, it's not compared to other shows. The animation is actually fine. But compared to Avatar, especially Legend of Korra, because animation was raised in Legend of Korra, I feel like it's just, I don't know, almost a slap in the face. And also, I know how much Mike and Brian struggled with that. Like, they do not, they talk often about how book two was just, it it tore them up. Not broke them up, but it was just rough.
Yeah, and I'm not very discretionary. I don't always notice those things, but I have been watching a lot of the YouTube channel Mother's Basement lately, and I feel like I'm learning more things I'm supposed to watch out for, so I can sound educated when I nitpick against animation. So someday, the next time I come back and watch this, I'll be totally in Chris's butt. I'll be like, "Yeah, that's terrible." No, it's still, as you mentioned, it's still relatively fine, but it always feels a little off,
Yeah,
even to my uneducated eyeballs. At a
yeah.
minimum, it feels off.
Let's see. All right, so Korra's about to close the spirit portal, and then she takes time to talk to to Vatu, and like he's trying to kind of goad her, and then he's pretty much threatens. Unlock then comes out with Jinora. He's like, I'm gonna kill her soul, which is some messed up stuff. Like you're gonna kill like an 11-year-old soul? I mean, I guess you don't care, but whatever.
Yeah, it's weird though. That's
Yeah.
it's unacceptable even
Uh,
in the world of criminals.
unless Korra opens up the spirit portal, which Korra then does, and which a lot of people blame her, which which I guess is it's somewhat selfish, but
It is
think
because if
about
it
it.
was just a, I mean, the thing is that Cora probably would have done it had it been any human, but I think it might have
Yeah,
maybe not necessarily been the right choice, no matter who that human happened to be.
yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't want to be the one making that choice to just
Like
be
I
like, you
think
know what,
I
it's just
think
Janora.
I think any avatar does that. Like the thing is, I think if you put Aang in all these same situations, I think he would make all the same
Yeah, but do you really think that
mistake.
Yang Chen or Kyoshi would put up with that shit, or would they just be like, you know what,
Oh, Yang,
greater good?
if imagine if Rangi's spirit was about to be killed by Unalaq, Kyoshi would definitely not kill him. Not she would definitely open the spirit portal. You know, because you think to yourself, all right, I just push this can down the road. I know I'll figure out a way. Granted, Rangi would be pissed off at Kyoshi. Like
Um,
she would be, she'd be like, Kyoshi, I'm nothing. Like the world, like this is how
and
this is how the
Rangi would
dialogue
be
will go.
right.
Rangi would be like, Kyoshi, the world, you know, the world is more than me. And then Kyoshi would be like, but the world's not living in
But
if you're not in it.
You're my
Yeah, but
world.
yeah, exactly. But you're my world.
It's like a Hallmark
And
card.
then Rangi will like I love that dynamic. And Rangi will like be mad at her and then just like fits her some oatmeal that's like not flavored at all. And then Kyoshi will eat it with such loving content.
That was really adorable. That was a touching moment.
That was
Uh,
a great moment.
yeah, warmed my
I
heart
love
like a bowl of lukewarm oatmeal.
yeah.
I don't know. it's tough, and if it's your kids versus somebody else's kids or whatever, and it's harder. But like that's a really big risk to take. As like this is a kid who, not to mention probably the most understanding kid. Like if any kid in the universe is gonna understand it, it's Jinora. She probably gets it.
I don't know, because if she did, she would have been like, Cora. Wait, did she say Cora do it or
She
Cora
said,
don't?
Cora, don't do it, as in don't open the spirit
Yeah,
portal, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
is
yeah.
what she
No,
said.
you're right. You're right. You're right. She said, it. Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel
Thing
like
is, to me, everybody says that, right? If there's a gun to my head and someone's, I don't know, threatening my wife that they're going to kill me unless she does something, I'll be like, don't worry about it. Like, just because oftentimes people are, I don't know, far more self-sacrificial than they're willing to sacrifice other people.
Chris, the thing that we're missing here, the right answer in any situation is for the hostage to throw curveballs and do things unexpected that they're not looking for. So when I get
That's true.
captured and they're going to try to kill me, and like, Heather, if you don't do such and such, we're going to kill your husband, I'm just going to rattle off 2 minutes of stand up. This is the best stand up I can pull out of my pockets and try to get a chuckle out of him, maybe distract him a little while Heather does something clever. Throw him a curveball. It's not going to work and I'm going to die, but I'll die doing what I love.
You, yeah, you just get shot.
I would
And I
just,
guess then you would take the decision out of their hand,
yeah, yeah,
and that
yeah. I'm taking the
yeah
decision out of Heather's hands. I'm just like, I'm either going to
yeah.
distract this so it works or I'm going to die and it's going to be fine, whatever. I'm making the choice. It's not, don't listen to me for life advice, kids. I have very strange perspective, I think. Um, yeah, but regardless, right or wrong, Cora does open the other spirit portal. But then Jinora is still trapped in
Let's
the
let
spirit
go.
world
Yeah,
physically,
yeah.
right?
She's
No, no, not
no, still
physically,
still her
just
spirit.
spiritually, because they
Yeah,
got her cold, spiritless
yes,
body carrying her
yeah.
around.
Um, yeah. Just carry her to the fog of lost souls, essentially. That we'll eventually find out. And then Unalaq starts attacking Korra because he came in physically through the spirit world, so he still has this bending. Korra doesn't, and he's about to like kill Korra's soul. Which this is one part in the whole show where I'm like, Korra's avatar state probably should have kicked in, and I can't. The only way I could,
Like
because
it waited too long, because it does in a few minutes, right? But like, why did it wait
no, it never kicks in. The Dragon Bird comes back
and
and
swats
knocks
Unalaq?
out Unalaq. Yeah,
In the words of
like I would
Chris
have.
Rock, knocks him the f out.
But I would have
It's a really
expected
funny slap. I cracked up pretty hard.
it wasn't, but I would have expected the Avatar state to kick in. The only way that I can uh, explain that is that her physical body wasn't in danger. But still, I would have thought that. I mean, I know narrative wise, like, well, what do you do? What does that even mean when they probably would open up a can of worms that would have been too hard to. Like, what does that even mean when the Avatar spirit? Well, maybe okay. Never mind. I can now sort of explain it. She was in a spirit world, so she was already like somewhat disconnected, not able to reach. I don't know her
There's
Avatar spirit. It's just too many like connections going on.
right. Her
That
spirit being separate from her body in the spirit world doesn't put her closer to being in the Avatar state. It's like another. It's another degree.
channel or something. I
Actually,
don't
it's like a third step. Then there's a lag time and the time difference.
know. Yeah,
Between
I'll
spirit zone and regular
I'll
world time.
allow it because I don't know what happens when your spirit goes into the Avatar state if that was even a
Yeah, me neither.
possible
But
thing.
watch
So all
yourself,
right, whatever.
McCoy.
Yeah,
The I mean, it didn't. It's one of those things where I would never personally try to explain it, but it didn't feel wrong to me that she
it didn't
didn't
feel
do it.
wrong because this is the first time that I was actually thinking about it, and I've watched
Yeah,
Korra
so
several times or something. So
it's fine, whatever.
yeah,
But I don't know. It's always interesting to hear your take, and it's very well thought out. I have no issue believing that it's a third step.
and then
Yeah, that SWAT
Korra
on
gets away
Unalaq. That
on
SWAT on
the.
Unalaq is really good. Though, like if
It
I
is
wasn't
good.
so
Yeah.
lazy to go grab clips, I would go grab that one because it's like a tail whip and
Mhm.
over the mountains, over them there mountains for you Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite fans.
One of the things I would love is that if Korra like I don't know fused with this dragon bird spirit, it would be kind of cool. I just like this dragon bird
Sick.
spirit. Kind of want to see more of it.
Yeah, it's a sick. It's got a dragon in it. No, and I like the colors. It's got like a phoenix
Mhm.
appearance. So if
Yeah,
you were to,
yeah. It's like I guess a phoenix is like a dragon bird.
yeah, I mean, not so much in like
Um,
the Harry Potter ways in Harry Potter depiction, but in other
yeah,
depictions, I think the phoenix has some more fantastic dragon-like qualities.
yeah. The one in Harry Potter just looks like a hawk. But
What? Yeah, and also that's like my least favorite line in any of the movies is in the second movies when Dumbledore is explaining its powers like very exposition-y, and then the way that he delivers the line is really weird. Uh, it's hard to describe it, and I would just wrote it, but it's like, and their tears have healing powers, and he like trails up like he's got more to say, and then he doesn't, and it bothers me every time.
yeah.
It's probably the worst delivered line in any Harry Potter movie. That's important. You all need to know that. Sorry for that tangent. I'm done.
Um, yeah, so then Korra wakes up, which then I think is a really like cool's not the word. Heartbreaking is more of the word. Shocking, maybe a little. No, not shocking. Anyway, she wakes up and Tenz's like, "Oh, good, good. Like, are you okay? Were you able to, you know, find how's Chinora? Like, where is she? Like, she's not waking up, Korra." And Korra just has this look on her face of just like, "I'm sorry, Tenzin." Like, and
I think
is
like
she crying?
in a
No, I don't
state
think
of
she's
shock.
not
I
crying.
think
She's
is
sweating.
yeah, like not shocking, but in a state of shock. I think is a
Yes, yes, yes. And and then Tenzin's like, "Where's my baby girl?" Like, I don't know. It's a good little shocking moment, especially to end the episode on.
yeah. Yeah. It's sort of. I'm still not forgiving Tenzin for his behaviors in the previous episode. It's like, come on, man, it's the spirit world. Cut some slack. But I get it. You're in dad mode. That's what you're supposed to do in dad mode. You can't just be like, oh, we'll probably find her.
Yeah,
He's
it
doing
kind of creates this. Also, that well, no, it kind of creates this interesting tension or
tension,
dynamic. Yeah,
tension, tension. Yeah.
between him and Tenzin. Of he's like, oh, Tenzin sending his daughter in here. He couldn't even guide the Avatar to the spirit world. Like it's all it's almost mocking Tenzin. Like and he's already won against Tenzin because he won Korra over him. Oh, I didn't mention from the last episode. Korra apologized to Tenzin, which I think was really good, and they hugged it out. And then even like Bumi and Kaya was like, "Oh, like I'm glad they had this little heartwarming moment."
No, it's too late to give the last episode any credit. I'm
I know,
sorry.
I
It's
know.
past due.
And the thing is, I was hard on that.
And it's
Wait,
hard,
what's happening? Yeah,
relatively, much like the animation, relatively hard, but overall, to the rest of anime, we weren't that hard on it.
yeah. I think that's the episode.
Let's do some ratings.
All right, audio visual.
Wait, did I
Wait, I
change?
gave it a 10? Okay.
Crap. Okay, here's the thing. I changed the ratings in the other PowerPoint that I swapped up, so both our ratings. You know what? Give me a second,
Okay.
real quick here.
All right.
Um, what were your ratings? You just make them up on the spot. No offense, man. You get it. Okay, your audio
Okay,
visuals
I can see.
right there. That one first. That's you.
Okay, so audiovisual 8.5. Really love the stuff with the Spirit World. Really glad that Studio Mirror took back over. Yeah, Spirit World just was really good. Yeah, really good stuff there. 8.5. Story 8.5. I think I really enjoyed Korra being lost and getting back with Iroh, meeting Iroh again. Um, that was really, really fun. Really some good story aspects there. 9, memorable. I'm surprised honestly I didn't give this 10 because not often do I have such a visceral reaction to seeing a character, but Iroh just gets that out of me. But it gets a 9 for memorable because after your seventh rewatch, that shock kind of wears off. But still, so good to see Iroh back, and it makes so much sense
for that character that he is now a guide pretty much for the Avatar. And it makes so much sense that he was able to, and he says he was able to leave his body and join the spirits.
I forget
It's
how he
such a
worded it, but it's something like once
once my work was done,
I decided to
like
leave my physical body, and
yeah, which
he made it
which
sound
also
very much decision based. Though, like sometimes we refer to it as like he had achieved nirvana or whatever, but he made it
yeah.
sound like a decision. But it could also just be like a figure of speech. I don't think we can
Yeah.
infer too
Well,
much from it.
the thing about, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong about Buddhism because I don't study that. I just read some brief stuff for Avatar. The thing about it is that some of it said you don't break that cycle um until you like complete something. And so him saying that until my work was done, that made it that kind of was supported by some of the Buddhism teachings. Like his work was done, so he could break his cycle of reincarnation. He could reach spiritual enlightenment and hence nirvana and become a spirit.
I think there
Which
could
some
still
people,
be question of choice, like voluntary versus
yeah,
involuntary.
no, I think there
Um,
is.
but it's
Some
probably not
people,
super important to the show at all.
no, some people theorize that since Korra was able to successfully kill Vatu, unlike Juan. And hence, if she killed Vatu, that has the chance for bringing an age of light and peace and everything eventually. That her duty as the Avatar would be somewhat over, and that cycle would be broken. She would be able to, Juan's soul would be able to. Some people have that theory. I don't fall into that theory because I think that job is never over, and there was already some strife in the world before Vatu was released, and so I think there will always kind of be a need
Yeah, well,
for
and
an
obviously
avatar.
there's still strife afterwards that we do have canon proof of. So like her
Yeah,
work might be complete in that sense, but the Avatar's work is not. In that saga, Chris, her work is complete in that saga. Um, sorry. No, I think that's fair. I like the idea that there could be some choice involved in it personally. Like, hey, you did complete your work. You want to go down there and run it back, or no, I'm good. Let's
I think it was a
yeah,
very intentional choice by
yeah.
Iroh.
I could see that being the case, and I kind of like thinking about it that way personally. But overall, not a huge impact to the show. So
Yeah, so that gets me out to a 8.6.
8.6. Hey,
8.7.
last time I thought you would hate the episode more than me. This time I thought you'd like it more than me. I loved this episode actually, maybe more than I realized. Audio visuals, there was fights, there was some real world, there was some spirit world, but there was dynamics. Unlike the last episode, it was a dynamic. Real world and spiritual world. I don't know if things moved and changed and music was more
Yeah,
interesting to me. Everything, the whole package was
yeah,
just more appealing. I was more engaged from the get go. And keep in mind, I don't really have memory of these episodes, so I kind of get to go off. It might be for good or bad, like reacting to kind of raw emotions. But this one, like, I was engaged right away. So I gave it a 9 there. Story, I like that. I always like these episodes that have their own self-contained story. This one kind of hits both. It's obviously integral to the larger plot, but it still has a very nice self-contained story about Korra and her little arc, her little saga inside the spirit world, and it's a good one. Very meaningful, powerful lesson. So I loved it. I gave it a 9. Minor nitpicks that I kind of complained about on the way through. They were just that, just minor. And then memorable, this is one that I remember quite well. Like you, I probably could have justified maybe giving it a 10. I think the only thing that maybe drags it back is at the end of this season, I don't always know where one episode stops and the other episode starts.
yeah.
Even I just watched these all
Well, yeah.
four like a couple days ago.
Things
I
things are
watched.
so uh,
They're
no, they go straight in to each other at
they
this point.
they do, and so the other day I watched 4 or 5 episodes, episodes 9 through whatever I forget,
12,
9 through 12. Is it just 12 or is it 13?
12.
And I watched all 4 of them, and it's like I know what happens overall, but I don't know where those split or anything. But I know that Korra's arc is contained in here. It's really good, and I like that part. I like the Spirit Bird SWAT at the end. So yeah, maybe could have justified 10. Give it a 9. Overall, that gives it a 9, and our together rating being an 8.8. So, very, very strong episode. I'm just going to skip past all these things that you don't need to see. There we go. Okay. And yeah, great episode. I think that's fair to say. In a big picture way and a small picture way. Checks off a lot of boxes for me. Chris, final thoughts on the spiritual.
It was a great palate cleanser for me from the previous episode. Next episode, I'm very curious to see your thoughts on that episode.
Oh, I want to spoil it so bad, but whatever. It's you can probably guess, and you'll probably be right. Quite frankly. But yeah, tune in next week regardless. Chris, if you had to rename this episode, you get one shot right now. I'll give you 10 seconds. Rename this episode.
Okay, so this one. Okay. Journey through the spirit world. Maybe that's too on the nose. Needs to be more. I feel like Avatar titles aren't that on the nose.
What if you just called it the spirit world? Like it's all about the spirit world. That's the most in depth we get to be in the spirit world to this point in time. What if it just did the whole thing?
Honestly, I would have called this one the guide, and not the previous one.
But they need the guide to get to the spirit world. I mean, I see what you're thinking with Iroh being a guide in the spirit world, but
yeah, it's a misdirection, Sean.
It's a bait and switch.
You think the guide is Jinora, but it's not. It's Iroh.
Remember that time when he tried to teach you what a bait and switch was, and I kind of almost understood it, sort of maybe. That's totally fair. I don't know. I think the spirit world would be fine. I do totally agree that a new spiritual age. That even if it did have, that's like the end of this episode. If anything, it would be the end. It would be like the next episode, and that's not good either.
Honestly, I would call this episode "Spirited Away."
Spirited Away, and it would have great music, and everybody would love it. Have you ever listened to that music?
What if they just named every episode after a Miyazaki film? I mean, I don't think there's enough Miyazaki films to do that too, but you could probably.
You could dig up some other things that he's done in his student films and stuff like that. I call this one Macaroni and Cheese, because every student has one of those films. Every once in a while I listen to Spirited Away, and I feel like it reminds me of Harry Potter for some reason. I think it's just the fictional
I don't
movie,
really love Spirited Away. I watched it
one
time recently.
I love it. It's one of my favorites. Something about the music specifically, like when it comes up on Pandora. I don't know why it gives me some Harry Potter vibes.
It's funny. It's so different from just Western storytelling. Like there's no like pure antagonist.
Yeah.
In it, and maybe that's my.
It's an abstract antagonist.
Yeah, it is abstract, very much.
Great. I don't love all those Studio Ghibli or Ghibli. I always say Ghibli, but I think I'm probably wrong. I don't love them all, but I do love Spirited Away. And Kiki's Delivery Service. That's another big fave for me. Love that one.
I really need to go down a rabbit hole of Miyazaki films and just watch a bunch of them.
I haven't watched a ton of them. I've probably seen 5 or 6. Like I said, I love Spirited Away and Kiki's. I didn't love Ponyo. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The other one or two that I've seen feel very unmemorable at this time. So,
well, it's Princess Mononoke, which I watched a long time ago.
I haven't seen that one. I don't think.
This one, I feel like it's one of its more popular ones.
It is. I mean, at least in terms of name recognition right now.
Yeah.
I can't sort of, but name recognition, yeah. So yeah, maybe time for a rabbit hole, but well, hey, go watch Miyazaki films. Tell us what you would rename this particular episode. Sometimes I get our tangents messed up of what tangent we talked about in what episode. Comment on our other tangents. Oh, hey, thanks again for any reviews you leave on iTunes. We're just flattered as we use this excuse to watch our TV show that anybody pays attention to us at all. So thanks for leaving reviews. We really appreciate them. Good, bad, whatever, everything in between. Chris, final thoughts? Anything else to get out? Ready to watch Mortal Kombat? I don't know if I can.
I'll be surprised if I stay up. I'll just have to sleep down here. My wife has like somewhat of a bedtime for me. Like if it's past like 1, she's like, "Don't even come to bed because you'll just wake me up." I'm like, "All right, that's fair." And so I'll just be sleeping down here tonight, I think.
I don't know if I'll
Wait,
try
did I
or
hear
not.
something? Oh, never mind.
I don't know if I'll try tonight or not. I'm gonna get a drink of water, like ice cold water, see what it shocks my system into being ready for some Mortal Kombat or not. But
What I really want to do is take some NyQuil and just be knocked out because I feel like I have a little cold. But
you
if I
sound
take
like Charles
NyQuil,
Barkley, so I think some NyQuil would do you some good.
if I take a NyQuil,
I'll take a NyQuil.
know I'll be knocked
TRBR,
out.
terrible. Listen, I love LeBron, but he does not play any defense. No, I would say some NyQuil would not hurt you, but I don't.
I'll take the DayQuil so I'm not sleepy.
I don't know if I'll stay up and watch. Like I said, I'm gonna go get a big drink and see if it.
I'll
shocks
power
my
through it
system
because
more.
I don't want spoilers. So
I can spoil it for you right now. Bad. That's my spoiler alert. And if I'm wrong, I'll be happy to be wrong. I will be grateful to have watched a good movie. That's my take. All right. Well, in that case, let's all get out of here and go watch Mortal Kombat. Thank you so much for watching Avatar: The Last Podcasters. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at @last_podcasters or facebook.com/Avatar: The Last Podcaster. I'm Sean. I almost forgot my own name for a sec. I'm Sean. That's my friend Chris Ford, the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And we will see you next time with Chapter 11.
Mortal Kombat.
Muting you immediately. You're gone.